Hey, welcome to the Sad Bitch Club podcast. I'm your host, Kaitlyn.
I'm Rachel.
And this is just kind of whatever the fuck we want it to be in order to kind of get some serotonin because we're sad bitches. And
that's it. We're sad bitches.
We're sad bitches. We're going to do what the fuck we want. I don't know. We have a lot of intellectual conversations, in some that are very far off of being intellectual.
Yeah.
But they're very podcast-esque, and I think they're conversations worth having, especially when we talk about, I mean, a lot of what we talk about is, like, mental health related. So, yeah. I think it's suiting. But, yeah. Hey, a lot of you know me, Cosmic Kate, what's up? But this is my friend Rachel, and we've known each other for...
Been almost 7 full years.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know.
Because we either met at orientation or like in September.
Facts. So of 2014?
14. Yeah.
Damn, we're old.
Yeah.
But we've been buds since college. And then I stopped going to that school. You stopped going to that school. We lived apart. And then we've kind of like rekindled the friendship. And now you talk to me every day. You're the only person willing to do that. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I go out of my way to talk to you every day.
I know. Are you okay?
No. That's what we're here for.
Right. That's why we're here. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. Okay. Is there anything? I don't know. I feel like people kind of know who. Is there anything, Rachel, you want to like intro to yourself as?
I mean, I don't really have like a ton of an online presence unless you count piggybacking off of all of my friends that do have online presences. I have like a total of 58 Twitter followers or some shit. For the most part, I stick to like IRL friends and activities. I don't do a ton of like, I mean, I play games with friends online, but like half the people I play with online are also people I know IRL. Most of my online friends I've met through you, including my roommate, and some of my like who I would consider some of my best friends at this point. So that, yeah. But like I, for the most part, like I work at an animal shelter. I'm kind of nerdy. I play D&D every week. I just kind of hang out.
Meanwhile, all my friends are online because I moved to another state and have nobody here. It's fine. Everything's great.
Have Josiah.
That's true.
Josiah's a friend.
That is true. That is true. Him and Nick went golfing today, so they're having a good time. Just boys being boys.
Just boys being boys, doing boy things.
But sick. And if just a splurge about me, hey, my name is Kate. I'm gonna go by Kaitlyn here because that's my name, and that's what like Rachel has known me as, and it's
I know
just
I've got myself calling you Kate more lately, and I'm like, that's not it. That's wrong.
It feels weird, right? Nick doesn't call me Kate. It's like, I don't know. I hated that name growing up, and then it just kind of.
Yeah, nobody called you Kate when we met.
No.
So when I like joined the group and everyone like was calling you Kaitlyn, everyone was confused.
Yeah, like who? I was like, oh, that's me. Sorry. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's true. It's to the point now where all of my online friends introduce me to their other friends as Rachel, and so everyone's always confused by my username.
Oh yeah, like who's Bubbles?
Yeah.
Which I just found out last week what the fuck your username even came from.
Yeah, so it's Life is the Bubbles, but it's with a Z, and it's a reference to the song Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid.
Literally did not know that, and that's been your League of Legends name that I've known you've had. For almost 7 years.
Yeah, and I use it on stuff before that. I mean, it's been some variation of that has been like was my Tumblr name back in like 2010, and
I just feel dumb.
It's not a reference that a ton of people get right off the bat, which I kind of like about it because I pretend that I'm not into like cutesy happy stuff. So like
because you're a sad bitch.
Don't need the whole world to know that like my username I've identified with for over 10 years is from a Disney movie.
Oh, Disney adults are kind of scary though.
Exactly. And because I'm not a Disney adult like at all. It was just like a line in the song that I thought sounded really neat, and I was like, I'm gonna roll with that.
I like it.
Yeah.
But Disney is some serotonin, obviously.
That's true.
Like last night I did some Disney karaoke on stream. It was fun.
You did. Yeah, I was all down for the Disney songs.
But so sometimes we're sad bitches. I mean, hence the name. I mean, the name of the podcast. Let's start there before I want to tell you why I've been a sad bitch lately. I mean, same reason as it always is. It's fine. Everything's fine. Me convincing myself everything's okay.
Same.
But Sad Bitch Club, I know where it started, but at the same time, it was pretty organic. As like we just kept.
So I think we had Dumb Bitch Club first.
Yes, Dumb Bitch Club.
And I think it was specifically you referencing Austin and I.
Yes, because y'all are dumb bitches.
Yeah. Because we were like very actively doing stupid things at the time. Not that we're ever not doing that, but like it was very prominent at the time that we all were sort of hanging out and forming our Dumb Bitch Club.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever the dumb bitches were sad, we'd have Sad Bitch Club meetings.
And that's where we
Dumb
just
Bitch Club meetings.
talk it out. And it's usually some tea spilling because, venting can also be considered spilling tea. But it's a lot of like venting and just getting shit off our chests to other people that we know are going to be transparent with us, which is why it was called Dumb Bitch Club, because y'all would like vent and I'd be like, that's kind of fucking stupid. And you're like, yes, I know.
We're kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. And it turned to Sad Bitch Club, and I like it because it's kind of like our space to just get shit off our chests and get some like honest, like critical feedback.
And I know, at least for me, it's really important to allow myself to be sad, because I'm somebody who typically tries not to have a ton of emotions, especially not negative or like quote unquote negative ones. Being sad isn't inherently negative.
Oh, so you're telling me avoiding things doesn't help?
Right.
Crazy.
And so like giving myself that time and that space, like that designated spot to like acknowledge those feelings and talk about them with people that like I care about and that care about me is super important.
Yes, exactly. And same. It feels good to speak and not only just like talk and be talked to, but to be heard.
Right.
And I think that's why our friendship has like lasted as long as it has, and that we're still really good friends, is because we have that really good dynamic of just like being open and honest, and like if shit's weird, fucking say something, dude.
Yeah, we never really sugarcoat it with each other. And it's saved us both a couple of times. So
yes, in more ways than I think we would like to admit. That's fine. We can get into that eventually down the road when things are a little more established. There's a lot to talk about. But
that's for sure.
Yeah, Sad Bitch Club. So this is our weekly Sad Bitch Club meeting. We'll record whenever the fuck we want, but episodes should be up every Friday if we keep shit consistent. But also part of our mental health is going to be open and honest of if we're not feeling okay, we're not recording an episode. Or maybe it'll be the best time to record an episode. Who knows?
It might just be a really, really rambly episode.
Yeah, there we go. And kind of like opening the conversation as well of like, we're talking about these things, but I mean, fuck, everybody goes through some shit, and I would love to bounce ideas off of other people's brains, or even, if we have a guest or something and they just, really vibe with what we're talking about, which we already have like a whole squad of friends that are interested in coming on the podcast for the sake of like contributing to the conversation. Because we already have these conversations while not recording. Literally, we were talking to Blake the other day, and I was like, why are we not recording this? This is like golden content. You're intellectual. I love it. And they were like, oh, yeah. Like, all right, we're going to record sometime. It's fine.
I forget that my brain is sometimes smart.
Yeah. And I like having genuine conversations with friends. So fuck it. We're going to record it and put it out for the world. And if other people want to enjoy that content or relate to it or talk with us on that, because I would love to also have open-ended questions on social media, which I started today, and we'll get to that a little later. Just get involved if you want, or just enjoy. It's up to you. You can be a sad bitch however you want. But also, like, I don't know, a little bit of self-improvement is cool. So, I don't know. Why am I a sad bitch this week?
This week specifically?
Or just like recently. Like recently,
okay. That's, yeah.
This is like a recurring thing I want to keep on every episode is like, what's the sad bitch vibe right now?
Well, so I for sure know mine this week.
Oh, go ahead.
Which is that my pharmacy decided not to refill my antidepressant on time And then when I called them to be like, hey, it looks like you refilled this, but I never got a notification. They're like, no, we didn't do that. I was like, cool, can ya? And it was over a holiday weekend and they refilled it super late in the day. So I ended up going almost 3 full days without an antidepressant, which is the first time since I started that antidepressant that I've been more than like maybe 28, 30 hours without it. And so this weekend was rough for me.
Yeah, it was. And I'm so sorry you had to do that. It's
not a great time.
So I was on an antidepressant like briefly, and I didn't give it enough of time to like do what it needed to do and adjust
2 or 3
dosages.
months. Yeah,
I didn't do any of that,
and that's if you start with one that is going to work for you, because they don't always.
I think that was really the scariest part for me. I was like, I don't want trial and error. I just want to be fixed. And,
thankfully, I did a lot of my trial and error on antidepressants when I was in high school. So I went through a few because a couple of them honestly made me feel worse, even after a couple months being on them. To the point that the one I'm taking now is one that I had previously taken that we knew had worked for me like 10 years ago.
Fuck yeah. And can I like be honest and you don't have to answer, but like, do you feel and see a difference?
Oh, 100%. Like it totally affects my mood, my activity levels. I feel like I'm in a brain fog when I don't have it. Like I tend to like have more general body aches and just kind of feel unwell. Which is all, I mean, a response to your brain's chemistry not doing what it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. I feel weird like asking those questions, but I also think part of like what we want to do here is normalize mental health and like talking about shit so it's not weird.
and it's crazy to me because again, that's the first time I've been on this one for just about a year now. And this is the first time I'd gone an extended period without it since then. And I was like, fuck, is this what I used to feel like every day?
Oh my God.
Like, was I living with this constantly? Like, because like, obviously my anxiety and depression are not gone, right. But they are relatively well managed on medication. And that's, I mean, sort of up in the air. We're talking about maybe adjusting it, but it's one of those things where I'm like, did I used to feel this shitty every day? And just like, that was my existence. That's how I lived.
That's scary. And I think a lot of what some people try to do, at least like from a parent's perspective, is like fix the problem when really it's not fixing, it's just managing it.
Right. Yeah. It's 100% managing. It's, I mean, a combination of managing my brain chemistry levels, but also, I mean, managing my mood and my intentions and my actions. And that's where we sort of get into like coping and self-care and all that kind of stuff.
I love it. I don't know. I like seeing the improvements because even I, like, you know, being 14 hours, 12 if Rachel's driving, away, you know, a lot of my correspondence with you is via text, Twitter, right. And when we meet in Sad Bitch Club, which even just Discord voice is totally different than like messaging. But even I have seen like vast improvements with like how you feel about yourself. And
and some of that. Yeah, some of that is like being on a regular medication makes it easier to take care of yourself. But I've also very actively been working in the last year on like making sure that I'm physically taking care of myself and eating good food and trying to drink water and get physical activity.
And surrounding yourself with people who are good for you.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. I love this shit. I love it. I love you so much. I've been a sad bitch. This is like a constant thing, but more recently it's just like my body image. I look in the mirror and I want to go, so I'm working on it. I bought a yoga mat and some 5-pound weights, and Nick and I
together? Pilates together?
Yeah. Oh God, no.
FaceTime yoga?
I can try. I'm down. I love it. Oh, I have to sneeze. Nope. It went away. You? It's fine.
Bless you.
Thank you. But Nick and I went halvesies on like a little treadmill, so he has been using it, and I used it a little bit today. I've been walking the doggos. And then my like consistent issue is I buy clothes that are too small for me, and it's possibly a denial thing, and I'm like super aware of it, and we both know. We both know we're both too self-aware for our own good.
Yes.
But this is something I've consistently done since like high school, where I'm buying like mediums and smalls when maybe I should buying like mediums and larges, and I hate trying on clothes because then I have to like have a mental breakdown in the middle of a store rather than a breakdown in my own home. You know, things. And especially with COVID now, if you go shopping, like I tried to push myself to like buy things that are cute, but not in the right size. I can't try them on, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. It's something I'm trying to overcome, and I've been trying to take steps to improve like my physical health, because I know that's directly correlated. I don't know. That's just my sad bitch vibe right now. I don't know.
I do also think that some of your current physical stuff you've got going on, like some of your stomach stuff, is and I know you know this already because I've seen you talk about it, but is a stress response.
Yeah.
Because like when I was having when we weren't actively talking a few years ago, when I was having the major life change before my last 2 major life changes, I was having so severe stomach issues that like they thought they're going to take out my gallbladder. They thought I had stomach ulcers. Like they were doing all kinds of testing. And by the end of it, they were like, everything looks fine. Like, I think it's just because you're stressing yourself out.
Yeah. I had like a passing out spell in high school, like over and over and over. And I've talked to you briefly about it, but it was, they did blood tests, they did brain scans, they did everything they could. And they ultimately told me, oh, you're just stressed. What stresses you out? Try to like remove those. I was like, bitch, school stresses me out. My family stresses me out. Money stresses me out. You're telling me don't do school, give up on my family, and don't make money. Okay, fine, I'll do that if it's great for my mental health. But then, you know, there's a whole different stressor there.
Yeah, you gotta find the balance between.
Yeah, it's like, just get rid of what stresses you out. Okay.
everything stresses me out.
Fucking everything. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it all comes down to just me stressing myself out and being in my own head. And I don't know, baby steps. As soon as I find like a somewhat of a, not even resolution, but a way to manage one part of like why I'm a sad bitch, something else jumps out, and everything just take turns.
Yep.
It's fine. It's like I finally got my shit together. Oh fuck, here comes something else.
Yeah, that has been like the story of the last year of my life. It's every time I think I'm doing okay, something else.
Something. Yup. But you mentioned just taking care of yourself is one of the things that like just vastly improves things. And then
that's my biggest goal every day is to like do something to take care of yourself today.
So what are some things? Well, okay, first off, like what is self-care to you?
So self-care to me is like, so again, I'm really bad at acknowledging when things are issues. And so self-care to me is like giving myself that time to just kind of like sit and process. And so a lot of my self-care is very meditative, not like straight meditation. Like I don't just like sit with my eyes closed for half an hour. That because I don't have the attention span for that. But I do have the attention span for crafts and for planning and for like taking some time to just kind of veg out and reflect on how whatever I'm taking in affects me. So I have comfort TV shows that I watch because I can see parallels to things that are going on in my life, and thinking about how they take care of those things helps me take care of those things. Or I'll do things like knitting or paper crafts or art to keep my hands busy, so that my body is doing something, but it gives me time to let my brain kind of like chill out and think about stuff. Like I do those things very zoned out. And so like a lot of my self-care is like a milder form of distracting myself, where I'll like distract one part in order to like let another part do what it needs to do.
Gotcha.
Which is a weird way to frame that, because like I'm still technically distracting myself. But like if I'm distracting myself with TV, it's so that my body has time to rest. Or if I'm doing something with my hands, like creating something, it's giving my brain time to rest.
Right. Well, not like actively avoiding the things that need to get done.
Right.
Gotcha. Because that's one thing. Because to me, self-care is like getting things done that I need to get done, while like kind of like what you're saying, but simultaneously like kind of giving something else a break. So like I'll take a hot bath, but then I'll clean the bathroom like before or after, because I clean space, clean mind is something that I believe in. And unfortunately my
one of those things I need to work on.
Yeah. And we've talked about how I may or may not have undiagnosed like ADHD like somewhere. So I the biggest like sign to me that is something that I might be struggling with is the fact that I have just like clutter to the point where it's like just stuff everywhere, like
where it's like not really clutter anymore, it's just kind of a mess now.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mess. And it's maybe sometimes like a depression clutter, but mostly it's just like my brain.
What I refer to as my depression nest.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes my self-care is just lighting a candle, cleaning up my space, and just kind of like, you know, doing things that need to get done, but with like a clearer mind, with the intention of clearing my mind.
Doing it intentionally, I think is what makes it self-care. And that's like, not to go all like woo-woo, froofy witchcraft on you, but like the thing that makes things like magic to people who like ascribe to those kinds of followings is the intention. Like you're not really doing anything different than anybody else, but you're doing it with intention, and that's what makes it important.
No, I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I think there's I don't want to say it's a stigma, because this could be somebody else's form of self-care, but the stigma of like, you need to drop everything you're doing and like go get a massage, or stop everything you're doing and like take a nap, which that could be somebody's self-care. But the thought of like just dropping everything to like avoid what's happening, to distract yourself, it's kind of scary, because I think when people think self-care, that's the only option. If that makes any sense. And I think people like you and I, for instance, have anxiety about not doing anything that makes that more anxiety inducing for us to think about just stopping everything and taking care of yourself for a little bit. Yeah, like I haven't checked Discord, Twitter, or my emails in 3 hours. That's great for my mental health, but it gives me more anxiety not doing that.
But so maybe doing it just not knowing.
Right, exactly. So maybe doing it periodically, like as I'm doing things, and be like, okay, I just, you know, clean the kitchen. I'm gonna check my phone and like see what's going on.
That's
for a little
what I
bit,
do at work. Like when I'm cleaning at work, I'll be like, okay, I have to finish like this many cat cages before I can check my phone again. I have to make it all the way out to take care of the back 40 cats and back in before I can look at my phone. Like, I'm not saying I can't do it, but like I can't constantly be doing it, because if I constantly do it, I'm going to be just as anxious as if I don't do it.
Right. And these are all things that are like learned to like not fix our problems, but to manage them.
These are brain hacks. These are what I call brain hacks.
Exactly.
I'm hacking my brain.
Exactly.
Into doing, like, I'm putting in the cheat code that lets me still get the thing done, but in a way that doesn't make me worse.
Right. And it works for you. And it's different for everybody.
Absolutely.
So I asked Twitter, kind of like, what do they do for self-care? And a lot of it was what I thought it would be, where it's like shutting everything out and like relaxing or doing something interesting, which obviously nothing bad against all of those. Like everybody deals with things differently. My brain won't allow me to shut out the world. So
I can't.
I literally can't. So if your brain lets you do that, and like that's how you deal with things and that's how you take care of yourself, fuck yeah, do it. So I want to read some of these, and I'm going to just say the names of like our friends who contributed. So our friend Austin, he said, I liked his response probably the most out of a lot of these, just because it resonated with something that I also do. So, which makes sense, because like Sad Bitch Club member number 1, like obviously he gets it. He says, work on a hobby with mental capacity to take me away from everything going on, which mostly ends up working on my car nowadays. Pick a project, watch a YouTube video, buy the parts I need, and replicate the video to learn something new. So it's, I like that.
What I do to a T, just not with a car, because my car is a wreck. But that's the thing, is like, okay, I'll find a new craft video to watch, and I think that's really neat. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to do it 100 times because it'll distract me. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Or like our friend Trev, which just for a little perspective, is a lot of these friends are similar to our age, if not a little older. Trev is a little younger. And he says, I never really took care of, I can't read. I never really took self-care. Wait, I can't read. I never really took care or self-care until quarantine hit. So I don't do a lot because I haven't found a lot I like. But usually it involves like a movie or anime, laying in my bed, and basically just locking myself away from the rest of the world for an hour or two. Which he's in those years where even I didn't really understand self-care.
100%. That was he's the age now that we were when we met. Mm-hmm. And
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah, neither of us had any fucking clue what coping mechanisms were at the time.
No, not at all. And that's totally okay. And that's part of just like fucking growing up and figuring it out is learning how to manage shit. But the fact that I think he brings up an interesting point of like not really knowing or understanding self-care until quarantine, because I think people were kind of forced to do something to get out of their like workspace. Like working from home, there's always this like big thing that says like don't put your office in your room because you want to separate your like sleeping and, you know, quiet space from your workspace. It helps your brain differentiate like
That's the thing they always told us in college too, was like don't do your homework in your bed.
Yes, exactly. And I think during quarantine, like especially when it first happened, people were really struggling to find that balance of like, this is where my brain is going to function and do work, and this is where my brain is going to relax from all of the work I just did. And not having that difference like really fucking hurt people.
Yeah, I've been really, so I started after I transferred schools, I started it a little bit more of like only taking my laptop into bed if I was watching a TV, like not to do anything else. But I've started, especially now that I have a desktop, that's been a lot easier for me because like I have to sit at my desk to do productive things on my computer. I can't just take it into bed with me like I could when I had a laptop. I have to like separate those things a little bit more. So now all I can do when I'm in bed is like watch a video on my phone or play a game, like relaxing things.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have forced myself to separate those things out by the like type of device I'm using because I can't take my whole computer into my bed with me.
Yeah. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but that would be a lot of work.
Be a challenge.
But it's tricky, especially in those like huge formative years of figuring shit out. I think I didn't really learn any of this until obviously college, because, you know, you're away, you're on your own for the first time. That's when you were like getting smacked with it if you're not living at home while you're doing school. And then once I moved out of my parents' house for good, it's like you're faced with all sorts of new challenges. And then like you got to take care of yourself, especially when you have like other people to care for in a relationship. You have pets, you have friends, you have eventually one day down the line kids.
Right.
Like our friend Cressler says, cooking, something interesting or challenging, hikes, especially for a sunrise, or just gaming with folks. Usually my depression spiraling is directly related to feeling isolated, so surrounding myself with folks is what helps.
I do too.
Yeah, like I fucking love that. And I love seeing Cressler's tweets of him doing his sunrise hikes. Like that's sick. First of all, the view is beautiful. I'm jelly.
True.
But
Same.
Great outdoors, getting that vitamin D. I sat outside in my backyard for like 20 minutes with the dogs the other day, and I don't know why, but my mood was significantly boosted just sitting there doing nothing.
It was the vitamin D.
It really was. I
did the same thing on Easter. So I worked on Easter, which was just this last Sunday. And I went to work, but like work on Easter is split weird. So I have like the whole middle of the day off. So I went to my family's Easter because all of the people who can be fully vaccinated are now. So basically just means the kids aren't. There's only like 3 of them. So, and they've already been passed between everybody else. And so I sat outside because it was super, super nice. It was like 80 degrees here on Sunday. And so I sat outside when we did like the Easter egg hunt and just to like hang out with family and like chill with my grandma, and like literally just sitting outside in the sunshine for like that 2 or 3 hours, like made the rest of my day so much nicer.
Yeah, you were sending, sorry, my brain like needed a moment to like finish hearing what you said. I loved, you sent me pictures. And like, first off, your nephew is adorable. I love him so much.
Rosario.
I love him. And you two had matching confetti hair. I loved it. But I love when you like actively share things with me. You'll just like randomly send me a picture, be like, oh, felt good today. Like the fact that you took pictures of yourself, I know is a huge step for you. Like, not to call you out.
No, it is. Yeah, it is.
So I've my serotonin boost after you sending me those pictures. I was like, oh my God, yes, I love it. Because I thrive off of my friends thriving, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very much the same way.
I love it. I don't take very many pictures, so
that's like with planning my D&D campaign right now. I'm like, but what if they all hate it?
No, I'm so excited for you.
Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I know I like the story, but if nobody else does, what's the point?
So for some context for the listeners, Rachel has been tasked with being the Dungeons and Dragons
DM, GM, Game Master, Dungeon Master, whatever you want to call it.
Why am I the one like introducing this as if I understand it?
Basically, I've been playing for like 4 months now with the same group, which is a former coworker and some long-term friends. And my regular DM was like, hey, I need a little bit of a mental break from running a campaign, and I have a really cool character idea. Will anybody else run something for a little bit so I can do some planning for our next arc and like get some time to just play? Because in D&D, oftentimes if you're the dungeon master, you end up permanently the dungeon master. And so we're going to try a thing out where we swap back and forth for a little bit. But I'm terrified that no one's going to actually enjoy when I'm in charge. And so I'm doing my best to get stuff planned.
I don't know. I don't think that'll be the case because your notes are a little sporadic.
Actually, either. I'm working on more refined notes. I still have like a week and a half.
Faye? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. But I also, like, they're aware. This is like your first campaign. You're figuring it out.
I've run one other like single session. So like a 3-hour night for just 2 people like a month and a half ago. When some of our regulars couldn't make it, and that went okay. Obviously it wasn't super smooth because it was the first time I was running anything, but like they were interested in the story. So like even if I wasn't doing the story the most justice, they were still interested in the story.
Yeah, and it's not like you damn near have a degree in English.
I have like half a degree in English.
Yeah, pretty close, but enough to where like, hello, you love writing and your brain is so creative. It doesn't surprise me that they loved the story. Like the logistics is I feel like the easier part to figure out. It's the story and the lore and everything behind it that most people struggle with, which you have on lock. So
I have the other way around. I'm like, I don't understand when I should ask for what role.
Those are things that I'm sure everybody will be like totally fine helping you with.
Right. Yeah. Which is part of the reason I'm grateful that our DM is playing in the campaign, because he can kind of give me tips and tricks because he's been DMing for years. So
yeah, I want updates on this, please.
Oh, absolutely.
For next episode.
Yes.
Wait, so it's not happening this week. This upcoming week, you're doing what'd you say?
We're doing like a planning night together. Oh, okay. I've called a session 0. Oh, okay. So it's like making sure everybody has their characters prepped and a backstory that fits into the universe, and I can get an idea of like who wants to do more combat versus who wants to do more role playing, and like kind of get a feel for where the group wants to go. Ooh. And so I can have that help my story along.
I love. Yeah. I need updates. Thank you.
Absolutely. You'll get them. You know you will.
Because I tried playing D&D with you forever ago. We tried to play. I remember filling out a character sheet, and I think that I don't know what happened after. Well, I don't remember what happened after that.
I played at least 1 or 2 sessions, but I don't really remember a ton of it either. We were playing a weird, ridiculous homebrew that is like way less intuitive than what I'm playing now. So like I think like we were playing like a weird 2E 3.5E hybrid. It was a weird, like a homebrew mix of different versions of the game. Whereas now playing in just basically straight 5th edition, it's way more intuitive and kind of gives you all your things you need up front.
I'm excited to learn more about it because I really don't understand it. But we're probably gonna be doing like an online D&D group.
Hopefully, yeah.
I would love to, because it seems really cool. I love the like idea of it. It's just like the logistics that I don't understand, but I would love to be involved.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is the logistics in the newest version are a lot easier, in my opinion. Which we can go over at some point.
Please. That was kind of here. I want to go over a few more of the tweets that I got from some friendos of what they do for self-care. Not to like circle back, but also
no, you're good.
Some of these are cool.
We went on a tangent.
Yeah, which that I'm totally fine with that happening. It's gonna happen. Our brains tangent.
Also, just to clarify, D&D is like the one other thing I actually do consistently, and so that's a large chunk of my brain.
I'm with it. I don't care. Fuck it, bro. This is our podcast. We do whatever the fuck we want.
That's true.
even if I don't understand what's happening. It's fine. I'll ask questions. So Medic on the topic of self-care. Jesus Christ, words. Hello. He says all kinds of different things, to be honest. Some days it's a workout as hard as I can to exhaust myself. Sometimes it's sitting outside on a really nice night and just listening to vibey music that has meaning. There's a lot to unpack there, and I kind of like it. I like unpacking. Let's unpack it. Opening the suitcase, many different things. There are multiple bags in this suitcase. The first bag is a workout to exhaust yourself. That's scary to me.
Which is a common self-care mechanism.
Is
lots of people work out to feel better.
That makes sense.
That's why some people consistently go to the gym.
There's like studies, not us. But there's studies that like support that too, right? Where like working out releases.
Your body releases like your happy hormones when you like do physical work.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. I need to figure that out then. I need to unlock something. Maybe that's my secret like thing that will assist me.
Some of that is finding like exercise that you enjoy.
Right.
So for instance, I'm not going to the gym and lifting weights. I'm going roller skating for an hour after work.
Yes.
Which is still exercise, still gives me the happy chemicals, but isn't like sitting in a gym and lifting weights or running on a treadmill.
And getting fucking looked at by weirdos. That's why I don't go to the gym. I've been to the gym a few times and I don't like getting looked up and down. And
instead I like go to the park and go for a walk, or like find an empty like spot in the fairgrounds and, you know, skate back and forth up and down the street for a little while.
Fairgrounds?
Yeah, the state fairgrounds.
Oh.
They're like across the street from where I work.
Oh. Okay, I didn't know that. I was like, what?
Yeah, so it's like you've never been to the state fair because you're not from the middle of the state. But it's like a ton of open flat. I mean, it's area where typically there's like tents and stuff up and like food vendors, but obviously not
COVID
most of the year. Yeah, not due to COVID, and also just not most of the year anyway. And so it's like big open stretches that nobody's driving on because it's in like an enclosed fairgrounds. And so I just go and park and skate around.
I like it. Sitting outside on a really nice night and just listening to vibe music.
That's a big one for both of us, I would say.
Yes. That's so when I met Rachel, I was going to school for music education. You were too, right? Yeah, we both started as music ed majors.
That didn't last super long.
No, I'm very much the person where I love doing what I do until I'm forced to do it.
100%.
And if I'm forced to do it in a way I don't like, or forced to do it like music, I stopped listening to music when I went to college because, you know, we had to
you had to take so much of it in anyway.
Yes. And we're technically classically trained vocalists. No big deal.
Which is terrifying.
You know, singing opera and like all sorts of Latin and Italian and Spanish and like random languages that I've never even like heard of. And then some random like Dolly Parton song. Well, but we won't talk about that.
I need to take a quick pause. My food is here. I will be right back.
Self-care. Get your food. I love it. Hey, this is a great time to just quickly talk about our sponsor for today's podcast, Cosmic Candles. It's actually a company that I own and run, and this advertisement is not paid, but hey. But I hand make some candles right here in Texas, and they're natural soy wax candles and wax melts. All sorts of yummy scents. I've got food scents, floral, fruity. My number one seller is actually Aries, which is a fruity pebbles type scent. All the scents are named after like astrological signs, Greek gods and goddesses, constellations, planets, and I have a new line that I'm working on that'll probably launch mid-end of summer. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure an ETA on that yet, but we're looking at like different crystals and gemstones. So keep a lookout for that. CosmicCandles.com. Both with a K, KosmicKandles.com. Check it out. You can use a code SBC for 10% off. That's just for our listeners. If you're a listener and you got this far into the podcast, Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you. I just did a little ad read for Cosmic Candles. So
nice.
Yeah. Fun. What food did you get?
I got Noodles and Company.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You literally just told me before we recorded. You're like, oh yeah, Noodles and Company. I don't have that in Texas, and I'm upset because I miss it.
Well, one day when you come to visit, hopefully you can have Noodles and Company or Portillo's.
Oh, don't get me started on the Portillo's, please. And that's the thing. My relationship with food, because I don't know. Growing up, like I ate like a lot of like TV dinners and stuff. My parents both worked in like weird hours, so sometimes it would be home cooked meals, but it was a lot of like mom, so. TV dinners, and my brother and I would be home alone a lot and like snack and stuff. So food, I don't know, is like a weird comfort for me. It brings me serotonin, and it's unfortunate because a lot of the food I eat like doesn't agree with me, but I'm happy regardless. Yeah. It's fine. We also bond over our excessive pooping. It's fine.
True.
It's fine.
This is a pooping and farting friendly podcast. We also like burps.
Is that a disclaimer that we should put at the beginning? Like, this podcast is poop and fart friendly. I don't know. All the gases. I mean,
if anybody is listening to this that knows us, they already know that. That's not really news to anybody.
No, not at all. It's okay. I tweet about pooping pretty often.
You have a fart command on your Twitch that I use liberally.
It's my favorite thing, and you've literally almost scared the shit out of me. Like, actually, that fart command will make me poop my pants at some point. I see it. I foresee it happening.
It's good. I will practice. I still have like 47,000 points to use, so
let's go.
I've used like 20,000 already on it. I had like 60-some thousand.
I love it. Did you have, I don't know. Okay. Rachel said she wanted to add a wacky fact of the week, as like a little segment.
First of all, I'm fairly certain I was intoxicated when I made that promise.
I'm holding you to it. I
don't have one this week.
You don't have one? Okay.
No.
My note here on our document, because it says Rachel's wacky fact of the week, and underneath it says Kaitlyn's thing that happens every week, and who knows what it'll be this time? ? Still don't have a plan for that. That's fine.
And mine probably won't actually be a wacky fact of the week. It'll just be like, here's some weird random information I learned this week.
I'm with it. I'm down with that. Fuck it. Whatever.
Like, currently, I'm doing a lot of reading on the TV Tropes website to get ideas for this D&D thing. And so I'm sure I'll find some weird ones that I'll have to tell you about.
Yes. It's going to get to the point where you're going to want to tell me a story, and I'll be like, save it for the podcast.
That's true. But also, I'll just retell them because you'll forget them anyway.
I feel seen.
Oh, I do. Can I make one request that we should have done at the beginning when we introduced ourselves but didn't?
Oh, yeah.
What are your preferred pronouns?
Oh, she, her.
She, they.
Okay, bet.
Just so that everybody is aware.
Yes.
Because I think that's an important thing to establish.
It definitely is. And I know we have a lot of friends who have pronouns that are preferred. And I would like to make sure that we follow those, as well as, you know, if you're listening, respect those pronouns, because we love and respect our friends. If you don't respect them, you can like suck a fart, whatever. I don't know.
But not like a sweet, juicy fart, like a sick, nasty one.
Sick, nasty fart. Like my dog just ate like a pizza. Like some food that my dog shouldn't have ate, and he's gassy. Sorry. I don't know what just happened. It's fine.
Rachel and Kaitlyn had Chipotle for the third time this week, and it's pretty rough on the other end.
Stop. Well, I don't know. So far, so good. I finished my Chipotle, and I haven't shit my pants yet, but it's
how
brewing.
Long has it been now?
It's been about an hour and a half.
You've got another like hour and a half before it hits you.
It's brewing. I can feel it. I'll tweet about it later. It's fine. I'll update you.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Well, okay. I'm comfortable with ending things here. This is just kind of like a little pilot of like, I don't know, whatever the fuck we want it to be.
Definitely.
I'm going to be aggressive about that. There's no rhyme or reason to what we do other than talk about whatever we want, but also like mental health. Cause like,
because like we're largely framing this as mental health, but like obviously mental health affects every part of your day. So as people who have like actual mental health disorders. And so like realistically, that means we could talk about anything because it's just kind of who we are.
If my brain says do it, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for listening to the Sad Bitch Club podcast. We hope to see you at our next meeting. Hopefully every Friday. We'll see you there. Anywhere that podcasts can be streamed, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.